I told my mom I resent her for remarrying after my dad died and making our lives way worse. My dad passed away when I was 6 years old. It was the worst thing that ever happened to our family. My mom was left alone with 4 kids to raise. Me, my older brother Jake, and my 2 younger sisters. 18 months after dad died, mom got remarried. She met this guy named Rick, who was also a widow with 5 kids of his own, plus 2 stepkids he was raising from his first marriage. So suddenly we went from a family of 5 to a family of 14 people. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Rick had serious money problems. He was into gambling and had racked up tons of debt before they even got married. They only knew each other for 6 months before deciding to blend our families together. Because of all his debt, they couldn't afford a house big enough for everyone. We ended up cramming into this tiny 3-bedroom place. There was one room for all the boys and one room for all the girls, no matter if you were actually related or not. My brother and I had to share a bed, not even our own beds, one bed for both of us. And mom would get mad because we wouldn't let Rick's youngest son sleep with us too. This kid had nightmares every single night and would wake everyone up screaming. Mom thought I should share my bed with him because I was good with kids, but I barely knew this kid. He wasn't my brother. The financial situation was brutal. There was never money for toys or activities or anything fun. Food was strictly rationed. We got 3 small meals a day and that was it. No snacks ever. We all qualified for free lunch at school, which was honestly the best meal of my day. I remember this one kid would bully one of my stepbrothers and steal his lunch every day. Everyone expected me to share my free lunch with him, but I wouldn't do it. That was my food. I needed it. Rick would constantly try to get me and Jake to help him with chores and projects around the house. We'd fight with him almost every day. We'd tell him straight up that he wasn't our dad and we didn't have to listen to him. He'd go on these long rants about how much he did for us, but we knew about his gambling and debt. We didn't care what he had to say. Mom would cry all the time about how we weren't trying hard enough to make the new family work. She hated that we stuck with our real siblings instead of treating the stepkids like brothers and sisters. She told us once that she expected better from me and Jake because we were older and should help make everything work. Things got really bad when Jake and I started working part-time jobs at 15 and 16. We'd use our money to buy things for our younger sisters, take them out for ice cream or buy them clothes they needed. We never bought anything for the stepkids, not once. One time Jake had saved up almost $400. Rick couldn't pay the electric bill and they demanded Jake hand over his savings. He refused and they screamed at each other for hours. Mom was crying saying we were tearing the family apart. Jake moved out 3 days before his 18th birthday. He got an apartment with 2 of his friends. The second I turned 18, I moved in with them too. We still see our younger sisters all the time, but we barely talk to mom. Jake has completely cut her off. Last week, mom called me crying, asking how we ended up here. She said she felt like she was being punished for falling in love again and trying to give us a better life. That set me off. I told her she gave us a way worse life, not a better one. She got defensive saying that wasn't fair, so I laid it all out. I told her I resented her for remarrying some guy with 7 more kids and massive debt who never fixed his money problems. I said losing dad was already the worst thing ever and we didn't need more bad on top of that. Mom started lecturing me about how money isn't everything and we could have had this big loving family if we just accepted them. She called me and Jake spoiled for thinking she should have stayed single just so we'd have more money. I hung up on her. She sent like 20 texts after saying I had no right to judge her choices. I haven't responded.